Hi everyone, Deanne here, and in this video we're going to talk about how to create and use polling, student polling in Zoom. So to get started, I'm just going to show you what this looks like. So here I am in my live Zoom meeting, and you'll notice that one of the tools along the bottom is the polling tool. And if you don't have this on your toolbar, then you'll need to go back into your settings. And this is one of those settings that you need to toggle on to have this show up in your personal settings for your Zoom meetings. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and click on this. As soon as I do, this is going to show me a couple of things. First of all, notice at the bottom that I have this launch poll. This is where I would click on this and it would send out this questionnaire to everybody who is a participant in my meeting. And then they would answer the question. As soon as they answer the question, then I would get immediately the answers right in front of me on my screen. And so that's kind of how this feature would work. It only works with like a true and false or multiple choice. That's the only kind that you can do. Now, the other thing I want to show you, if you look at the top here, you're going to see poll number 1. This is one that I have already created. And so the polls that I create, they will stay right here until I delete them. This is important to note because there is one poll that you need to be able to give to your students at the beginning of every class. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how to do this. For this, we need to go out to our Zoom settings. So here we are back at zoom.us, and once we're out here, this is again your navigation bar on the left. Now, what we're going to do is you really need to create your poll questions in advance. If you want to create one right in the middle of the session, what it will do as soon as you say ask a question, it will bring you back here. And so all of a sudden you'll kind of leave your Zoom meeting yourself personally, all your students are still there, and it will bring you out here so that you can create your questions here. So the actual creation of the polls happens out here, and you can do this in advance. But let me show you a couple of things first of all. So I want to click on this Manage My Meetings first of all. And you'll notice that this will tell me my upcoming meetings and it will tell me my previous meetings. For right now, I'm going to go to my previous meetings because I want to show you this. Here was a prior Zoom meeting, and this was my kind of test Zoom meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And as if I scroll to the bottom, you're going to notice at the bottom of the section here, it shows that I created one poll for this meeting. And in this poll, I asked one question. If I wanted to edit this, I can open this up and I can edit this. This is what a poll creation of questions looks like. Now I want to draw your attention to this one in particular. So anytime we're teaching remote, we still have some of the same responsibilities that we do while we're in the classroom. And one of those responsibilities is in the event of an emergency, or if you witness an emergency with one of your students in their environment where they're Zooming, then it is still your responsibility to report that emergency to 911, to your administration, to parent guardian, whoever you would normally report such an emergency to. You still need to be able to do that. And for in case it needs to go to a 911 emergency call, they need to know where to go. So you need to know where your student is attending this Zoom meeting from so that you can direct emergency crews to the correct location, if that makes sense. So at the beginning of every one of your Zoom meetings with students, what we're going to ask is that you set up this poll and you give this poll to your students. And this is also a poll that you can use to take attendance with. So this question for the Zoom meeting, where are you attending from? You can adjust that. You probably come up with a better way to ask that question. But these are the choices that we would like for you to include, please. You're attending the meeting from home, a family member's home, a friend or neighbor's house, your parents' workplace, or other. And that way, in the event that you need to reach emergency services, you know where to send them. Okay, so you're just going to click on create a question, and you're just going to type this in and create a question like you normally would. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this because I already created this. Now, when you're finished with a question, if you don't want to use that question ever again anymore, I would go ahead and delete it. And this is also a place where you can add new questions. But first of all, I'm going to go back because this meeting has already ended. So I want to actually create questions for a meeting that is going to happen. So I'm going to click on my meetings again, and now I'm going to click on upcoming meetings. And so this is going to tell me some different upcoming meetings that I have going on right now. Here's a Zoom meeting, a test Zoom meeting that I'm hosting right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And then at the bottom, I'm going to add a poll. So my title is going to be, let's say we were studying U.S. presidents. Okay, so, and my question might, I don't know, something about U.S. presidents. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in a couple of answers. And then once I've put in a couple of answers, single choice answer, or I can make that multiple choice. Single choice it can limit it to 2. Anyway, and then I am going to go ahead and I got to move my little bar here, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And if I wanted to add another question, so if I had like 3 questions I wanted to ask during my Zoom meeting, I could add 3 questions in here. Now, because my meeting is happening right now, it's asking me, do I want to launch this poll right now? And so I don't have to, but I might as well because we're in our meeting. And so it's launching it. Now I'm going to come back out here to my meeting and notice how I have this box now in my meeting. So now I'm back to my Zoom screen. If I had people in attendance right now, then I would be able to see the different the different answers popping up here. Because I don't have people in there, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to get a good indication of this, but I can see this live. Now, there is another option that happens in here. Notice also the timing button. So if you want to put a time limit on it, you can put a time limit on it and let them know that. But if there were students in here, there would be something in here that would say show to my class. So if you're asking a generic question and you want to show that to your class, great. You can show them the results of the poll. If this is the first question that asks where a student is for student privacy, please do not show that information to your class. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And now if I wanted to relaunch this, I looked at the results and said, oh, that wasn't really, I didn't get all the responses I should have gotten or something. You can relaunch. But as soon as you relaunch this poll, just know that the old data is erased and now it's going to take over the new data, because you can run reports on these polls. I'll show you that in a different tutorial. Okay, now this is the button I was telling you about. So share results. This, if I click on share results, all the students in the class get to see this. Now it doesn't attach specific student names to it. Your report will. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to click up here on my X, and now the poll is over. If I wanted to give another poll later on in the class, I can go ahead and click on polling, and then I can click on that question, or I can edit it if I want to edit it, whatever I want to do. But my poll questions are going to be right here for me. All right, so that is how you use the polling tool and how you create the polling tool for your students in class. So a good way to keep students engaged and to ask them questions along the way throughout your lesson. So I think you will enjoy this tool, and I encourage you to go out to zoom.us and take a look at it and practice it before you use it with your students. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another tutorial.